Good evening, I'm Mark Mcquillan with the ITV News in London. The Housing Secretary says the government is partly to blame for the Grenfell Tower fire. Michael Gove says the government's system for building safety allowed people to cut corners and put profit before lives. Antonio Roncolato was one of the last survivors to escape the burning block in 2017. Anna Geary has been to meet him.
Faulty and ambiguous government guidance, partly to blame for Grenfell. Comments from the Housing Secretary, more than 5 years after the tower block tragedy claimed the lives of 72 Londoners.
Government had a system of building regulation that wasn't appropriate, that allowed people to cut corners, and some of those who cut corners put profit before lives. It is necessary now to acknowledge that.
Antonio Roncolato welcomed Michael Gove's admission. Happy now in his new home, Antonio was one of the last Grenfell residents to escape the burning block in 2017. He lived on the 10th floor. But Antonio felt today's remarks didn't go far enough.
It is not partly to blame. It is the government has a huge responsibility in that, not a small one. So when you build a house, you start from the foundation, and if you don't have strong foundation, the remaining of the house might be crumbling one day, and that's what happened.
Evidence at the Grenfell Tower inquiry showed official guidance was widely seen to allow highly flammable cladding on tall buildings. Tomorrow, the Housing Secretary will announce a 6-week deadline for developers to sign a government contract to fix any unsafe tower blocks. If they fail to do so, they will be banned from building new homes.
I don't believe this until I see it is really happening.
Whilst he hopes this could signal change for Londoners living in tower blocks with unsafe cladding, Antonio's focus remains on the findings of the inquiry due later this year.
Hopefully after that, the police will open up a little bit more, tell us a little bit more what they're investigating, who they are investigating, and hopefully bring some people to justice.
So the wait goes on for Antonio and for the family and friends of all those who should still be here. Anna Geary, ITV News.
A man in his 20s was stabbed inside Harrods on Brompton Road last night. Police were called to the department store just after 7:30 to reports of a fight. A man was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. No arrests have been made. A father and son have been sentenced to life in prison after they were convicted of robbing and murdering a man in Greenwich. Ernesto Elliott and Nico Elliott from Walthamstow have been jailed for a combined total of 48 years after the fatal stabbing of 35-year-old Nathaniel Agu in June last year. A reverend at St Mark's Church, which was destroyed in a fire last week, said a service held today showed defiance. Reverend Kate Harrison and churchgoers gathered this morning to remember their place of worship. St Mark's Church in St John's Wood went up in flames last Thursday night. The cause is still unknown. Time for a look at the sport now.
Zero Accounting Software sponsors ITV Regional Sports Report.
In rugby's Premiership, London Irish convincingly beat Harlequins in this afternoon's London derby. Michael Dyke scored a hat-trick for Irish as they ran in 6 tries in a 42-24 victory. Harlequins secured a losing bonus point after scoring 4 tries of their own. And one result to tell you about in the FA Cup, where Stoke City beat Stevenage 3-1 in their 4th round clash. Finally, a dance school in Richmond has been chosen to represent Team England at the 2023 Darts World Cup. The children who train at MV Academy say it's a dream come true to be competing with 6,000 dancers from 62 different countries. It's time now for a look at the weather with Chris Page.
Feels like home, whatever the weather. Valent Boilers and Heat Pumps sponsors ITV London Weekend Weather.
Hello there. Very good evening to you. There has been quite a bit of cloud cover across the capital through today, although we did begin to see some brighter skies into this afternoon. Love this photo, though, nonetheless. Sent in from Rob with this little mischievous squirrel there trying to get some of that bird food earlier on this morning. Now, for the week ahead, well, we've got some fairly unsettled weather towards the north of the country, with high pressure still to our south, but we do end up with this real squeeze in the isobars through much of this week. So I think it's going to be a much breezier week to come, but it does mean that the winds coming in from the southwest generally means it will be a fairly mild week as well. So through the rest of this evening and overnight, well, we've got some clear skies around at the moment. A weakening frontal system will slide southwards to introduce a little more cloud by dawn tomorrow morning and bring us some light outbreaks of rain at times too. It won't be a cold night though. Temperatures will hold up between 4 to 5, maybe even 6 degrees Celsius. As we start our day on Monday morning, that cloud and that rain system that we spoke about, that will soon clear, and a lot more sunshine across much of the capital tomorrow. A lovely fine day to come, and the winds will be lighter as well for all of us too, with top temperatures 7 to 9, maybe even 10 degrees Celsius. That's 50 in Fahrenheit. And as we go through Tuesday, well, we do have another band of cloud and rain just sinking southwards. That will bring some showers for a time, but just notice the large number of isobars across the chart here. Some really windy weather to come, particularly across the northern half of the country. For us, yes, another rather breezy day to come, though, saying that. We could be seeing some gusty weather in association with that band of frontal rain at times too. As we go through the rest of the week, still a lot of dry weather on the cards with some sunny spells, and it will be mild for all. Bye-bye.
Vaillant sponsors ITV London Weekend Weather.
That's all for now. Good night.